I can't remember exactly the point in the game, but there was a play in the game. You guys had a penalty in your favor from Carolina, and you chose to accept the play instead of taking the first down. Was it just a matter of just liking the play that you guys had? I think it ended up being a second and three because of the result of the play.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I remember the call, and I just saw it from a spot standpoint with the yardage we ended up taking rather than the 1st and 5. I mean, you go back and forth. I think that typically we'd accept the flag and back up a little bit as opposed to, I mean, the 3-yard difference. But we ended up having to punt on that series. So I know the sequence you're talking about.
Is it nice to be back on a normal schedule this week after a few crazy weeks schedule-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think our players look forward to it. I know we do from a preparation standpoint. Today we'll spend a good majority of the day on St. Louis as well as all day tomorrow, and then start back Wednesday with a good practice. So yes, to answer your question, getting on that schedule I think is helpful for them, especially this late in the season.
Coach, your defensive line, a lot of young talent that really is maturing and coming to its own. Can you just walk us through their progression this season, specifically last night? What did you see from Jordan and Gillette?
Well, I think, number one, we get a good rotation going. It's hard to play 60 snaps in there. Cam's and our starters are in great shape, but we really believe in getting a rotation. And I said this last evening, those are earned sacks when you get a guy like Cam Jordan down. I mean, he's Cam Newton, excuse me. He's a gifted player, but he's a strong sack. So you can get a hand on him. You can kind of arm tackle his waist or his leg, along with being elusive. So I thought we contained him real well. I thought he held on to the ball at times, struggled with his progressions, and forced some throws. I think that's a credit to how the guys up front played.
Coach, how satisfying was it to see your team get back to playing the way you feel like they're capable of playing?
Well, look, anytime you have a tough loss, the next game can't come quick enough. And you want to get back on track. So I thought we did the things necessary to win. I thought it was a good team win.
Coach, can you talk about the play of your secondary last night and how instrumental they probably were in some of the sacks you guys got?
Yeah, I thought it goes hand in hand. I mean, I thought we did a good job of keeping the players in front of us, number one. I mentioned the big plays that Carolina has the potential of hitting you with, where they get behind your defense in the passing game. They do a good job running the football, and you can all of a sudden get consumed with forcing the run, and then there's a Ted Ginn or LaFell or Steve Smith, splitting your secondary. But I thought we kept the ball in front of us. I thought we contested a lot of throws, broke up a lot of passes, and that was pleasing. But I thought overall that they go hand in hand, and I think there are coverage sacks just like there are, hurries that help the back end.
Thanks.
There was a record number of touchdowns scored yesterday despite some pretty nasty weather for several games. Are there aspects of offense that are easier in snow and cold, or at least not as complicated as we tend to make it to be?
It's pretty simple. If the footing is bad, all right, and I'm not talking about wind because that's a different deal, but if the footing is bad, it benefits the team that wants to throw the football. It's just harder to rush the passer when you're in coverage. You don't know the route that's being run, and so just that reaction time is more difficult. Now, if it's windy or there's precipitation, heavy rain, then it kind of shifts the other direction. But seeing some of the highlights and seeing some of the games yesterday, with the snow on the field and all that, I think you saw a lot of big plays.
Is there something to be said, too, for when there is snow or there's precipitation on the field, the receivers in pattern know where they're going and the defenders don't?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just, it's like when you're a kid out on a frozen pond. Some of you guys probably can't relate to that down here, but you're in tennis shoes and inch your way along without slipping. And so when you're playing defense with that type of footing, it's awfully hard.
Coach, you did a lot of things before the game, I guess, to maybe emphasize the importance of trying to make it bigger, like going for the noise record and inviting the Yin Yang twins and all of that. Do you think that, considering the result, that kind of got the necessary emotional response that you wanted, or?
I just think, look, I think our fans are passionate, and I think our job in giving them the best opportunity to enjoy the experience at the Dome. I mean, it goes all hand in hand, and I think it's an area we need to work on, quite honestly, is just, when you go somewhere and take Seattle, for example, and you have a tough loss and you come away from that game, but you notice other things just than football. I mean, that's an environment that's extremely, extremely difficult to play in, and there's a lot of things that have been well thought out. And so your mind starts racing in regards to improving your home field advantage with the speakers on the sidelines, there's a lot that goes into that, and I don't think you can just roll the football out there and do the same thing year in and year out. So I was pleased last night. I thought the fans were outstanding. I thought, look, this is that point in the season. These games are important, so any edge we can get, and I thought they gave us that, certainly, especially on the third downs.
So a lot of those ideas maybe came about following the loss to Seattle, kind of in the last few years.
Well, it's not just that. There was one specific idea with regards to the crowd noise and the speaker systems, but it's just about giving thought to creating an edge each week and not just accepting the status quo. I mean, that you're either improving or you're not, and that just means being around passionate people that want to make the atmosphere great for the fans.
Can you explain what you mean, speakers on the sideline, for those of us who are?
No, it's just the pregame. They're giant speakers that help the pregame music, and you obviously aren't blaring them during the game, but there's just you go somewhere and it's like the NBA. You go see an NBA game and you could travel to 8 different cities, and it's the same game day format. You might even catch the same balancing gymnasts at halftime if you hit it right. They travel around. I think having a unique game day experience is important, and I think that's something that we'll look at working on.
You mean Rubber Boy, or
what?
You mean Rubber Boy or Quick Change or the halftime show?
You pick it out, yeah. I mean, you got the half-court shootout. You got go up and look at the teacups in a race around a track, blue, green, or red, so it's just being creative, being a little different, being unique, and I think we're in a league that's always looking for edges like that, competitive edges. But I think we've got our fan base is outstanding, and it's a great atmosphere. I thought last night was fantastic, and so having some of those changes, doing some of those things, I think helps.
So that being said, are there any particular things you want to focus on with your team with the next 2 games on the road?
Just the details of fundamentally improving, working on all the little things that help you win. And so this will be a road game inside. The following week will be outside.
Do you want to work more on communication and noise or anything like that, or anything in particular? Or?
Nothing in particular.
Good guy.
Thank you.
Thanks.